taken away from Airwax. We talked about how well he's done so far and the massive kill participation that he's managed to pull in.
First pick here.
We'll see about that. I mean, Brown taken away as well. Jack's obviously removed from the Copenhagen Wolves side, and seems like the Wolves with their last pick, their last ban, maybe having second thoughts, or would have expected maybe Brown to be left open.
Could be it was actually one of their ideas to be banned away, or they wanted SUPA Crew to first pick it and take 2 strong picks for themselves. It's something we see very often, especially if these picks considered OP, where some teams just tunnel so hard, you just instant first pick them, leaving a lot of stuff open for the red side team here. However, very standard bans, to be honest, especially from Copenhagen Wolves, hitting on many of the strong picks, and actually Kale being just instantly locked in. Selfie, of course, has shown many times he can farm on this champion forever. He said there. Even their CS record actually against Fnatic for this summer split on Kale here, so definitely a very strong pick for Super Hot Crew.
Yeah, that final ban was Yasuo as well. We've seen what happens when you let Selfie have the Yasuo. Alliance in particular experienced that earlier on in the season. We also should mention that Kale has been featuring more and more on the top side of the map in the top lane, so we'll see if Mima goes for that, although we also have to say we've always preferred him on tanky bruiser champions.
It's his style of play at least. And the thing here for Super Hot Crew, they ban away Evelynn. Normally when you see one jungle ban, multiple teams actually go just banning all the junglers away and then take from the second tie here. Of course you have Elise, Evelynn and Lee Sin as the top junglers. Super Crew just banned Evelynn, and because Copenhagen Wolves didn't respond with banning either Lee Sin or Elise, there was no pressure for Super Hot Crew to log in a jungler, could take the kill, and can now just take Elise if they wanted in one of the next rotations.
Did see that the Thresh was the first choice for the Wolves as well, so Unlimited going to be returning into that one. It's left the AD carries up for basically whatever Mr. Rawls wants here, whether he wants to take the Lucian, whether he sits in there with that Twitch. We'll see if the Super Hot Crew actually decide to lock in their jungler here, or maybe even go for an early mid lane pickup with a decent amount of bans focused on that mid lane.
So Lucian still open for AD carries. It's normally the go-to pick for pretty much every team because Lucian just overall is so strong. Copenhagen Wolves could pick it up here for Woolite if Twitch gets locked in for Mistralis, which it looks like at the moment. And wow, Impala surprising a little bit.
Pulling out the Jarvan, we talked about this a little bit earlier on with the resurgence of the likes of Vi and Jarvan. We looked at Impale and said, yeah, he's the kind of jungler that would probably bring those champions out. However, when we think back to the spring split, it wasn't until Pantheon started becoming popular that Impale really, I'd say, made his breakthrough and started performing top level. He struggled on the likes of Vi up until that point. Interested to see though how he comes to the table with the Jarvan here today.
So the thing about Jarvan is he works really well with both Kale and Twitch because it's 2 champions you just want auto-attacking in the back line for as long as possible. So if Jarvan goes in, puts up his ulti, traps multiple members, just area damage from the Kale, area of course from Rat-a-tat-tat from the Twitch, and everyone just drops dead pretty much instantly here. So it's a very strong teamfight comp already being made here from Super Crew. However, we need to see how this Jarvan is going to do early game, because if he goes in for a gank and Airwax is down at least into counter gank, then Jarvan is very squishy and can die very easily.
So the next 2 additions for the Wolves there were Irelia. Was hovering on Mordekaiser, but it's not Roccat we're watching here, so in the end switches over to the Lucian. So getting that Lucian Thresh lane that so many teams do like to go for. And Rengar for Mima. We know that he plays Rengar. We harp on about it all the time, but we're just not getting to see it.
He was the king of Rengar in solo queue back in Season 3. He just played it all the time. He had multiple accounts in Challenger playing Rengar pretty much non-stop, and it's his champion, but he never played it in an official match.
And nope. We're probably not going to get to see it here today as well. As Switch to Twisted Fate would see that Kale moving into the top lane. You touched earlier on Yero and his time in Steve Bakes Cookies, where we did see Zilean support actually coming out from him. That will actually be changed as well, although Zilean and Kale would make it pretty much impossible to kill anyone on the map, but going instead for Nami and the Twisted Fate for Selfie in mid.
So it will be Kale top lane against Irelia here, which simply means if they get the one-on-one, Mima should be able to put a lot of pressure on Irelia early on, see if maybe he can deny some CS. We have to see how the lane is going to go, of course. And Copenhagen Wolves side is just overall very standard picks, to be honest. We have the same bottom lane we have seen multiple times today. We know how strong it is, pretty much all stages of the game. So we need to see if Super Crew wants to swap this Twitch away from the Lucian, don't want to deal with this early game pressure. And also, of course, Kale can then run with Jarvan and farm the jungle.
So what will they add into this one? Looking for the mid lane for Coutard was ill, unfortunately, last week for them. Resulted in that forfeit to Roccat and Mazarine. I mean, it was always going to be a hard game against SK without losing your mid laner anyway. What will he lock in? Fizz up against the Twisted Fate. We've seen multiple players going for that option when there's a TF on the other side.
Very, very hard lane for Twisted Fate early on. There's so much kill pressure for Fizz here. If he gets onto him, he can do so much damage, and it's very hard for Twisted Fate to actually respond back because you just jump with your E away from the gold card. You don't get stunned, and he does 0 damage to you. So very, very good pickup here for Copenhagen Wolves, but not a champion we have seen from Coutard. And we simply need to see how can he handle the early game here. Can he get a few kills and then try and snowball? Because Copenhagen Wolves, of course, looking at the side of SUPA, Copenhagen Wolves, their comp, it's not bad in the late game. It's actually strong in the late game here. But looking on the side of SUPA, when you have Kale, when you have Twitch, and when you have, of course, Twisted Fate, all three just become absolute monsters in the late game.
So early the time to do it. You already touched on the fact that if counter ganks come down, Airwax with Lee Sin is going to have the strength in these early stages of it. So focus on the mid lane may be about to come down for both of these teams. And both of them, let's be honest here, really need a win today.
Yeah, SUPA Crew, they want to make sure they can get up towards the top spots again. They keep talking about how they feel like they're strong enough to be a top team in Europe, but then they lose 2 games, and they're too inconsistent. And of course, Copenhagen Wolves just want to get out of this bottom place.
Well, now that the players have selected their lineups, do you think Super Hot Crew still holds the edge? Send a tweet to @LOL Esports with hashtag SHC win or hashtag CW win, and we'll check out the results shortly as we get into game. For you, Deficio, who do you think's come out stronger for this one? I can never look past the Kale. It's always going to be a pain moving through into the later stages.
I definitely love SUPA Crew's comp going late game, and also, of course, with Twisted Fate. You can set up a lot of picks with Twisted Fate and the Twitch, just finding a target in a random place, stealth in, Twisted Fate comes in, you just kill the target instantly. So a lot of potential here for SUPA Crew, even also to push towers, because you have Kale and Twisted Fate. Normally Twitch is not a good AD carry at pushing towers, but the mid laners or solo laners are for them. So overall, very strong comp. However, there's a Fizz, he can always snowball out of control.
And we've seen Twisted Fates who have just not used the Destiny as it needs to be used. We'll find out though, we are getting into game here as the Super Hot Crew take on the Copenhagen Wolves in our second LCS game of today. And will we see anything at level 1? In our last game, the Alliance versus SK matchup, SK putting some early pressure towards the Alliance red buff. We'll see if the Super Hot Crew fancy their chances here in the early stages as well.
So we need to see if SUPA Crew wants to lane swap here. Want to make sure they get Twitch away from the Lucian. We talked about it in Champ Select. And then maybe put a lot of jungle focus and even your top laner on trying to shut down Coutard on his Fizz here in the mid lane earlier and give Selfie a bit of time so he can build up a little bit and won't be so squishy and won't be an easy target for Coutard to just go towards. So a lot of options for SUPA Crew. Definitely think they're going to lane swap if they get the chance.
Well, currently Selfie is already up in that mid lane, just holding ground and seeing exactly what there is to work with. The Wolves, however, have all pushed towards the red buff. Well, look at that, 72% to 28% in favor of the Super Hot Crew. So very similar results to what we saw from the LOL Esports voting earlier on. As Yarrow making his first appearance here on the big stage, substituting in for We Will Fail It. I'm going to be bringing Nami to the table for his first match in the LCS.
And again, Copenhagen Wolves, it's not a bad comp they're running here. They have definitely a lot of early pressure with both Lucian and Fizz, and of course the Lee Sin. So they could potentially get a few early kills here and just go completely crazy and try and shut down Super Hot Crew early on, and don't even go to this late game point we're talking about and just win the game.
Well, I have to be kind of a thorn in your side there and say that the Copenhagen Wolves have not been a team that we've seen closing out games quickly.
Right.
However, we know the ticking time bomb of the late game power of the Super Hot Crew may just be something that gets their move on, let's say it that way. So you see here the starts for both teams, very, very standard. Impaler going to be kicking things off with his blue. Airwax will take his red buff, and we're not even going to see the swaps in this one. The duo is going to go head-to-head down bottom, and the Aurelia-Kale matchup in the top lane.
Yeah, so we need to see how SUPA Crew can handle this lane. Normally, Lucian should be able to beat Twitch fairly easily. We always see it. He does so much damage early on with this Lucian here. You can trade well. And Unlimited, taking a lot of damage early on. Mr. Alice, though, taking some damage as well.
Kind of even out on that front. However, we also have to mention Nami, of course, going to have that heal in there to keep Mr. Roll sustained up. We'll see how that all works out for them. And how well Yero is going to start off his, albeit temporary, LCS
They do get level 2 early here and actually going fairly aggressive, poking down Unlimited once again. He's been the target for him just every time they had a chance. He moved forward, want to do an auto attack. Nope, just get hit by both Nami and Twitch on the way back here. So early level 2 for SUPA Hot Crew, picking up some very good farm as well.
They set the bad precedent, although the Copenhagen Wolves now themselves hitting level 2. Meanwhile, this mid lane that we said Coutard, whilst in theory you should have a good bit of pressure onto Selfie in these early stages and even as things go on, we don't know what his performance is going to be like on this Fizz coming into the match.
He used to actually play quite a lot of Assassins. Go over a year back, before Copenhagen Wolves got into the LCS where they were just dominating the challenger scene. It was Zed, it was Fizz, often for Counter, so he definitely know how to play these Assassins here. So I'm very much looking forward to see what he can actually do on Fizz and what the junglers are going to do. Will they focus on this mid lane to make sure either they can counter gank or just try and shut down either the TF or the Fizz?
Yeah, and I really like it as well because you've said of Counter before in the past that he's a player that plays the safer champions and will often go even in a lane but never really showed us that he can outright dominate a laning phase from that mid lane. We'll see if that changes today. It's Mima here caught trying to go home. Youngbuck just offer him a little bit of annoyance from that one. And there is Coutard going to dive in. Selfie actually doing it right and keeping the gold card until Coutard lands on the ground and they trade about the same amount of damage.
But Selfie is out of mana here, so he needs to actually go back to base while Coutard is freezing the lane. You see him moving to the side of his own lane to make sure the minions don't even go into the tower. Therefore now they will do some damage to his wave, and when the next one comes in from the blue side, from SUPA Hot Crew's side, it's gonna just stay here around the tower of Coutard. So he can feel very safe just farming away.
And again, down in this bottom lane, Unlimited pushed a little bit further up, would be forced back. There's a bubble landed on towards Woolite. That's going to be a lot of damage from the hook on towards Yero. That could be trouble for the SUPA Hot Crew. He has to flash away. Woolite trying to get in position to finish off. Doesn't work, and now Mr. Rawls pushing them right back. There's no pressure from the jungle whatsoever. The TP of Mima was already used. Youngbuck could have come down there if they've got the ward down, for example, inside of that brush, but not going to be called into this one. And in the end, we see basically summoner spells being exchanged.
Yeah, but both exhaust, heal, and also flash were actually used on the side of SUPA Hot Crew because Yero got hooked in between the minions as well, so he was taking all the damage of both Copenhagen Wolves and the minions. Sadly enough, if they've been fighting in the middle of the lane, Youngbuck could have teleported down, joined in, but they were so close to the tower, it's very hard to coordinate in time. It would have been very risky for Youngbuck to blow his teleport. He would fall very far behind in lane unless he managed to pick up the first blood.
No first blood just yet, and you see that the Copenhagen Wolves sending their bottom lane back to spend 1,000 or so gold, and that will be a Vamp Scepter coming back into the lane for Woolite. On the other side, Mr. Rawls, probably after this next wave has gone, will do exactly the same and come back with similar items from that one as well. Meanwhile, Impaler going to come up towards this top lane. Have they got enough here to dive? Youngbucks here earlier actually takes an early flash as he sees the flag come over the top. Needed to as well. A knockup probably would have been his death.
Yeah, very, very nice reactions. Counter once again, though, just jumping towards Selfie. And there you see it. He just tricks us away, uses the E to simply dodge the card, doesn't take any damage in return, and can just keep doing it over and over. Impaler, though, staying around his top lane, slightly behind in levels compared to Airwax at the moment.
Youngbuck actually just used his teleport to come back in there, picking up a second door on his blade boots and a ruby crystal as well. But the SUPA Hot Crew, they're on the invade here. Both Mima and Impaler coming around. Airwax will stick around and have a look, but he's going to get knocked up. The slow comes in, will safeguard away to the warden. That keeps him safe for now. However, Selfie, wow, that's an early intervention, preventing any of the damage. There was a lantern down, and now the Copenhagen Wolves trying to close in onto him. Airwax is still low, but Impaler got no mana. The fish thrown out, but it misses. And now Impaler going to be chased down by Youngbuck. He's going to throw his ultimate straight towards Impaler as well. Has he got the damage? Q land. That's surely the death of Impaler. And I'm not sure that Mima gets away either. He does. They decide not to dive. First blood going over to the Wolves and to Coutard.
Yeah, couldn't be any better for the Copenhagen Wolves. They were ahead in XP here. We talked about how Impaler was only level 4. He was also out of mana, so he couldn't do anything. He just had to run away. Copenhagen Wolves chased up. Unlimited even joined from the bot lane, so it means Lucian was left alone in his bottom side. He couldn't actually do anything towards Mr. Rales. Still, first blood for Copenhagen Wolves, and once again, Woolite just taking some damage.
Oh, a lot of damage. Could be really bad for him if the bubble lands. which it doesn't in the end. Nicely done actually from Woolite to stay safer from that. And let's not forget that blue buff there was stolen away. We saw that Selfie was having a few mana problems earlier on, and that's only going to compound his issue. We'll see though if the Copenhagen Wolves can keep a hold of their own blue buff once that actually spawns onto the map.
And Copenhagen Wolves actually left a ward on the blue buff. They didn't clear it, but they see Impaler clearing it now. They're even pinging it on the minimap, so they're gonna get the timer. We need to see next time blue buff spawns in 5 minutes if they want to go in and try and take it away from SUPA once again. Because this Jarvan pick has been weak early on. We haven't seen too many gangsters, only the one in top lane where he forced the flash away. However, still a lot of time for Impaler, and once he hits the level 6 point, he can look for targets without flash and just go straight for them and ult them.
Selfie having a couple of issues there, getting the farm down, obviously feeling a bit of pressure as Youngblood gonna go aggressive onto Mima. Actually, intervention used very early on here from Mima. Just wanted to mitigate all that damage, using it sooner rather than later, so he's not just low at the end of it and can't stick around in the lane anyway.
We have to give credit to the bottom lane here for SUPA crew, farming really well. Of course, Ula was left alone just before here, but still, they were actually kept even in tier, so even slightly ahead throughout the entire game so far. And this Nami Twitch is just working so well because they can give the Nami onto Twitch and then trade with Woolite and actually do a lot of damage and unlimited. Only at the one hook which forced the summoners away, couldn't really do anything afterwards, so didn't manage to capitalize on the lack of summoners from SUPA crew. And therefore, Mr. Rice is farming really well, so full credit to him and of course Yero.
Yeah, got a really nice CS lead there. Has Mr. Royal 70 to 55. Both of them with the Vamp Scepter as Mima once again will get back up towards that top lane. Things equal in that position as Airwax now has moved down towards the bottom side. Where did Jarvan go? He actually recalled into base. So Impaler not going to be around should anything happen, but we see the SUPA crew already backing away and letting that minion wave push through towards the safety of their own turret.
And a lot of important ultimates are now ready. Copenhagen Wolves level 6 on to Lee Sin, of course. We have Selfie with his ulti. Even Impaler managed to get level 6 now. So we need to see where the next gang is going to be. Is it going to be Impaler going up, joined in by Selfie, and just dive on to whoever they choose from Copenhagen Wolves, or what's going to happen here? For now, no wards from SUPA crew on this dragon, and Copenhagen Wolves, they just started.
Start it off, and
they're going to get it.
Don't really see anyone being able to stop them from this one. The dragon going very low already. We see that Impaler moving towards Youngbuck's position. The dragon taken away for the Copenhagen Wolves. We see that Twisted Fate is also starting to move towards his top side. On top of a ward though, here is Selfie, but I'm not sure it's going to matter. Youngbuck going to be pushed down. The Cataclysm is in position. Impaler almost being finished off by Youngbuck, but that's a kill back for the SUPA crew, and maybe the tower as well.
Should be able to take the tower fairly easily here. Of course, no teleport for 15 seconds from Youngbuck. Still, Dragon went for Copenhagen Wolves, and they also managed now to get the timer off the ulti from Selfie here, so they know exactly when it's going to go up next time and can then play a bit more careful. But we did see it. Impaler moved off top lane. No flash on Youngbuck. It was used early on, and Selfie just joined in.
And there we see the kill for Selfie, or for them in that top lane. They lose, though, the middle turret because the Twisted Fate has moved away from there. Now I'll give the Copenhagen Wolves their first turret of the game and a slight lead here when it comes to the gold. Only 2,300 ticking over at this point. But now, with that middle turret down, that gives the Wolves a bit more opportunity to get the vision down on this bottom side of the SUPA crew jungle and forces them to feel unsafe as we see there. Mr. Rals and Yero backing away completely from the tower. That should be going to the Wolves here once those minions go through.
And once they actually recall from the Copenhagen Wolves side, they should be able to pick up some wards, go into the jungle of SUPA crew and just place so many deep wards they want to and just spot everything happening here from Impaler. Even from Selfie, they can put 2 good wards around the mid lane, just around the Wraith camp from the SUPA crew side, and see if he moves down towards the bottom lane before the teleport even comes in. So they have a lot of options now to get some wards, even a deep lane ward now they took the mid tower.
Oh, actually ultimate from Kautar here, just trying to keep them away from that turret. The minions are finally going to be taken down. The turret survives with less than half health remaining, but that was a nice little push back by the SUPA crew. And we saw Kautar's desperation almost throwing his ultimate in there to try and hold on to it. Worked out for him now, and now he's got backup as well from Unlimited and Airwax coming out of the base.
And SUPA crew basically got punished for sending multiple members up top lane for the game. They lost the mid tower, lost the dragon. It was not a good trade for them, and we simply need to see what they can do to save time, because again, we talk about how they want to go to late game. They want to just farm up now. If they can just keep the laning phase going, it's perfectly fine for them, but they need to be careful, because with the mid tower gone, Kautar can really start roaming around, finding kills, even go 4 people bot lane to dive. course, they need to respect the ulti from Selfie, even the teleport from Mima if they want to dive, but they have the options now.
Well, let's see about it, see what the plan is here. As Airwax moving through towards that blue buff once again. We actually see a scrying orb picked up by Mr. Rawls as well. So obviously feeling the pressure and knowing that they need to have that extra tool available to check things out should the Copenhagen Wolves go a little bit walkabouts. Blue buff, by the way, on the top side will be coming up here fairly shortly on the Super Hot Crew side of the map. Stolen away this last time around by the Wolves. We'll see if they can do it again. Actually, Rawls going... Is he going to go offensive? No, not quite.
No, look here. Fizz and Lee Sin moving towards this bottom lane here, but Super Crew, they already communicated, so they're just running away from this tower here. Don't even want to take the chance, don't even want to have to force anything away from their own side, because Selfie, he was actually moved towards his blue buff to take it, so he couldn't join in and help in case there was a dive.
And we saw there the graph as well, the CS difference over the course of the game, and pretty much being on Mr. Rawls' favor the entire time, and moving up to a decent one as well. Right now, 112 to 109, so not exactly a massive deficit that Woolite is facing, but this turret going to be facing a few more pressure scenarios once again, as Lee Sin now moving down towards this bottom lane, as well as the AD carry and support that were already there.
We do see some of the deep wards towards the bottom side here. I would actually like to see more wards from Copenhagen Wolves around the Wraith camp on Super Crew, so they can spot Selfie. Doesn't matter which direction he moves towards the bottom lane, if it's towards his own tower, if it's towards the dragon, when he wants to gank the bottom lane here. They don't have any wards for it, so they won't be able to spot him in case he goes for it. Just have to try and rely on seeing where he is compared to the minion wave.
Well, we've seen pretty much the one single Destiny from him so far up towards that top lane, where he did manage to finish off Youngblood, did take 3 of them and almost lost Impaler in the over the course of that one as well. So not exactly being the most active with that one, but that's also probably the Copenhagen Wolves saying, don't push out too far, don't give Selfie any kind of opportunity to, you know, get in there behind it, to use that Destiny and influence how that lane is gonna go.
And also Copenhagen Wolves, because they picked up the first dragon without any wards from Super Hot Crew, should at least think to themselves, okay, when next dragon spawns, we can be ahead of them. We know exactly what the timer is gonna be, and we just stand ready, pick up another dragon, and never get more global gold. Kauta, though, been farming pretty well in this mid lane, and also being very aggressive, actually, just going in for the trades, jumps back with his E every single time.
Showing his confidence there. Needlessly large rod and a Sheen picked up for him here 15 minutes in.
There should be Lichbane and Hourglass for him. If at least he builds the standard wave for Fizz here, we need to see how it decides to build. But because he picked up this early kill, he actually went for the large rod instead of going for Lichbane, just first item.
Bit more damage added in there for Kautard. The burst that he's got, and we'll see if he can pick himself up any more kills. I'm sure he will by the end of the game. And now he's moving towards the bottom side of the map here, and will they actually be able to catch anyone out? Impaler is stood right on top of the ward, and look at the positioning here from the Wolves. Airwax has started to move down there. The scan will reveal that there's no vision inside of the Tribush, and Impaler is still waiting for this one. It's all going to be about the hook, and the Q landing from Lee Sin, and Impaler is going to go down here. He throws in the Cataclysm. Youngblood actually getting involved on towards Selfie as well. Mima doing a good job. Mr. Rawls is going to fall. Mima's got his ultimate on himself. Will I actually flashing out? Have they got the damage to kill off Mima? Yes, they do. That's a 3 for 2 up until now. Selfie did finish off Airwax. Not the worst scenario considering how it started really for the Super Hot Crew getting caught.
No, but it was such a good ward by Copenhagen Wolves, expecting Impaler to be around this bottom lane here, and he just stood there for such a long time. They moved in position, had the engage on him. We're just gonna see it again here. Look how Unlimited moves in. Fizz and Lee Sin already as well joins in, gets so much damage onto him. He managed to actually get the ulti going before he dies, which at least saves some time for Super Hot Crew to get in position. Mr. Riders, of course, gets kicked into the team. Beautiful play by Airworks. Easy kill for Super Hot Crew. It will go down, however. Selfie joined in with his teleport, of course, and Mima just flashed to try and get the last hit on Woolite. Didn't work for him.
And Mima teleported into the middle of the Cataclysm. And there were 3 men in there. That's how you get your splash damage doing the work, that's for sure. All of them stacked up on top of one another, and we can see there that the Nash's Tooth is already done and moving his way up to the Runan's Hurricane as well. Meanwhile, Dragon has respawned into this one. Who's going to get it? The Wolves, of course, picked up the first one for free. There's no one around here once again for the Super Hot Crew.
Exactly the thing we talked about, the lack of timer or the lack of idea when the Dragon is actually going to respawn from Super Hot Crew. Simply meant Copenhagen Wolves could just move straight down, pick it up for free. No movements from Super Crew at all. Even though they knew the dragon would spawn, they weren't in a position to do anything. So second dragon of the game to Copenhagen Wolves, and so far things are looking fairly well for them. At least 2 kills onto this Fizz here can be very, very good.
Actually spotted Selfie and Mima moving towards that top side of the map. And not really doing much about it. They're going to take the long way around the back side of the red buff. Got that pink ward over on the corner, so they know that they've not moved any further than that tri-bush. And there is Selfie now. Going to stick around. They're going to try and go for Young, but look at this. The counter gank from the Copenhagen Wolves is ready. Q is going to land from Airwax. Will he follow through? Yes, he will.
Oh,
Kicks
nice.
him right back into Youngbug, who's going to get the slowdown. Intervention used early, but everything's thrown from the Copenhagen Wolves. Gets them a kill back. Meanwhile, Woolite in the mid lane. Copenhagen Cataclysm!
He's down.
The poison. He took the lantern off to the side. The poison just enough from Mr. Rals to get the kill, and the Super Crew are going to get the tower as well.
So Copenhagen Wolves expected the gang in his top lane here. That's why we saw Fizz moving up. We saw, of course, Airwax being there, and as soon as they landed Sonic Wave, went for the engage, picked up a kill. However, Woolite out of position in this mid lane here. Had no flash, of course, so easy for Impaler to lock him down, pick up the kill. Oh, I say easy, he almost survived with the lantern, of course.
If it wasn't for the poison, he would have survived
poison.
that one. But that's how it goes. It leaves us at 5-4 in kills and about a 2,000 gold lead. Not quite 2,000, but close enough for me for the Copenhagen Wolves. And tied, of course, in turrets as well. And we can see here, those sweeping lenses being brought out on both sides.
teams.
The only difference, that's scrying orb. And look at this, the Copenhagen Wolves again, going to be setting something up. The question is, do the Super Hot Crew fall for this one? Does Yarrow come down here in his quest
take
to
the bait.
sweep out the wards? Oh, it might be even worse than that. There are 2 men coming through. They're going to be starting off the red buff. This is real bad. Yarrow gets hooked in, and he's going to go down. Airwax secures that one, and it'll be a red buff here, stolen away by the Copenhagen Wolves as well. That pick just working out perfectly for them. Terrible scenario for the Super Hot Crew, but you've got to try and get your vision back somehow.
So this is the thing again with the mid tower going down so early. So Copenhagen Wolves once again could move in the jungle, ward it up, and just wait for someone to move in. They were very patient, by the way. I would have gone way earlier and just maybe blown the whole thing up.
That's why you're a caster now, Deficio.
Good point.
I love you really, mate. Don't worry about that. Mr. Ra's getting the extra farm down bottom as well. He's got his blade already done with the seal on top of that. Other side, of course, for Woolite. Bloodthirster, first item. Going for the static shiv second. We've also seen the first item for Coutard completed.
Was the Lich Bane?
Was a Lich Bane. And that needlessly large rod will be turned into maybe Zonia's. Maybe he'll go full man mode and go Death Cap.
Should be an Hourglass here, so he can actually go into the face of Super Crew, use the Hourglass then and get his cooldowns back up, then jump out of the fight once again and just be so annoying. But also help him in case Twitch jumps onto him, in case Twisted Fate of course jumps onto him, to avoid some of the damage and maybe return back and try and pick up a kill. Because it is definitely possible for Fizz here. Late game Fizz is so strong and so hard to deal with. And we talk about how if Coutard had a good start, anything can happen for the Copenhagen Wolves.
But you've got to be able to pick up those kills later on as well. And I think the Hourglass is going to give him a bit more safety to just dive on in there and then let the rest of his team follow up with the next wave of damage. Either way, the Wolves again stalking through the Super Hot Crew jungle. Airwax going to clear himself out, a ward on that bottom side. They've got Coutard pushing the lane itself. And there's another one by the red buff. And Yarrow this time has a little bit of backup. And he's probably going to take the long route around, knowing that he doesn't really have any vision on the bottom side.
Nobody wants to deal with Coutard down this bottom lane from Super Crew. Everyone's like, yeah, no, just send someone else. So it ends up being Mr. Alice and Yarrow going down. Now Selfie joins in. Not even trying to actually pick up a kill, just red carded the minions instantly.
Yeah. I mean, a try from the Super Hot Crew.
I thought that one better at least.
Destiny use and the Tidal Wave use out of Yarrow, but neither of them really offering anything. And look at this, the Copenhagen Wolves are going to wait. They spotted Coutard there for a second. The ward goes down. I'm not sure if they realize that Airwax is in fact still waiting though. And they're going to need something more than Nami down in this bottom lane if they want to defend against this next wave of minions.
But it's a weird thing because nobody really wants to go down and try and defend. Oh, Youngberg actually being jumped by Impaler.
Yeah, getting jumped by him, but look at Impaler being destroyed there. Finally the ultimate comes out of Mima. The calling going to come through as well, and two of them going dangerous dangerously low. Meanwhile, that tower in the bottom lane does go down in favor of the Copenhagen Wolves. And there's the fish onto the fish. Fish on fish action. And Yero hit with the Q. Is he going to get away? He is. He's down. He does get the kill in the end. Countdown flashes through.
Wow.
The shutdown from Mr. Rolls. That was messy.
So aggressive by SUPA Crew. However, they managed to get Mima away from this top lane because he teleported bot and therefore lost the tower. The Impaler, of course, was forced away, so would probably have lost it anyways. Ignore what I just said here. However, Mima's teleport is down and didn't manage to get anything out of it.
Mr. Rolls actually going very aggressive here.
Oh, he face checked him there. He would have killed him.
Would have killed him, but also could have been a problem for him as the ward cleared out by the Super Hot Crew. Let's have another look here then at this one down the bottom. As I said, a messy fight.
Yeah, messy fight. So Kaltart, because he lands the ult, he just want to go all in for it, but the bubble from Yero, beautiful, just predicts the jump in from Kaltart. Lands it, stops it, and then, I mean, Eric's in the end, he's so low from Mr. Riley, he just want to try and go for a kill because he knows he's going to die. And Mima, of course, teleported down in the end, but they didn't actually need him.
And I also saw Kaltart is like, do I go left? Do I go right? Am I going for Twitch? Am I going for Nami? Went for Nami with the flash in the end, ended up costing them their lives. So, where does that leave us? It leaves Airwax here waiting inside of a brush. Is he going to be spotted? Youngbuck will, and there's a ward going down and say, okay, Lee Sin was hiding from that one. The hook thrown out by Unlimited doesn't catch anyone. The Copenhagen Wolves going to start off the Dragon. Wards at the backside cleared out. Can they challenge for this one? So far, it's been all about the Wolves on the Dragon, but look at that. Impaler gets the flag over. He's not going to be able to dive in there. They need to wait for that flag to time out of things.
Nope.
They don't. In the end, they just smite it out. Third Dragon of the game going to the Copenhagen Wolves.
It's really had full control of the river and of course the jungle actually of SUPA Crew pretty much the entire game. Once they took mid tower, just taking full control of this bottom side of the map. Also why they could take the bot tower early on, and of course all the dragons. Selfie though, he's going in.
Oh, and I don't think Woolite's surviving this one. Mima comes in from the bottom side. Mima actually tanking up the turret to help out there, but Wolves, no. They have 3 people moving up towards that top side. They're going to be losing out on this turret either way. Decent wave there for Selfie, and actually it'll let those minions go down, but the Wolves trying to steal away the blue.
Once again, just waiting around here. Want to try and catch out a target if possible. Mr. Riley stealthing in.
Oh.
Nope.
No.
Oh.
Check the brush. Now he's going to check the brush.
Oh, I didn't get him.
Attack move.
Wow.
Oh well. It was close.
It was. It was.
So, Baron here.
Scumbag Mima hits the ward here with his Hurricane, so he starts the Baron.
Starts the Baron, costs Impaler a little bit of health. Not really a big problem. Get control of that one back. So, let's have a look down in the mid lane as items here. We do see the Zhonya's was done for Kaltart. Other side, the Rabadon's Death Cap for Selfie, along with his Zhonya's Hourglass. And look at this, Kaltart is going to not chase into Selfie. Thought he was going to go all in on that.
Well, Selfie had the Ghost, used it, got far enough away. Still a flash as well, of course, so if Kaltart had tried the max range ulti, could have flashed it, avoid dying at least, because Selfie really don't want to try and one-on-one. A very strong fist at the moment, and it could be the key for Copenhagen Wolves. Keep split pushing. Youngbuck in his top lane, he's building towards the Zephyr as well, and then keep Kaltart in his bottom lane and just do a 1-3-1. And as long as they know where Twisted Fate is, doesn't get ganked by him, they should be able to push the lanes up.
Selfie also gone Distortion on his Sorcerer shoes there, so obviously that fits in, helps him out with the cooldowns, and also adds a little bit more to that Ghost and the Flash as well. And mobility is going to be key for him, whether that's catching someone out or, as we've just seen there, running away from someone. Yero actually taking not as dangerous as I thought. I thought it was a dangerous route around as Impaler will spot Airwax, but no real action from that one. The Wolves just trying to get some more vision down on this bottom side of the Super Hot Crew jungle.
And once again, we just see SUPA Crew every time they have the chance. Take it easy, farm up your lanes. I mean, Mima is very strong already at this point. Picked up multiple kills, has a lot of farm on this kill here, of course. Selfie is himself going towards this late game point here. Wants to get Void Staff, maybe even a Lich Bane on Hourglass if he wants to try and survive all the bursts coming from Kaltart. And overall, SUPA Crew are happy just waiting around. As long as they don't lose Baron or an inhibitor, they can just farm up.
Mr. Hall's been sped up there and maybe thinking about having somewhat of a go at the Copenhagen Wolves. They know that both mid laners down on that bottom side of the map, and with the Destiny up, Selfie gonna have somewhat of an advantage in that one. Can obviously not quite pull the entire map there up towards Baron, but can get rid of half of the walking distance at least, and maybe start things off without Kautar being able to move in. Meanwhile, Mr. Raz again gonna get sped up. He's got a red buff on as well, which could make him all the more dangerous. And he's going to catch out Unlimited. Mima coming in from the side as well, and an early flash, but there's a Cataclysm. Tidal Wave going through. Unlimited is going to go down. Airwax in the middle of them as well. Youngbuck trying to get onto one. The fish is going to come through. There's the kill. It's a double for Mima, and now Kautar has to use his Zhonya's. Is he going to get finished off here? Good burst. Selfie comes in, but it's Mima that picks up the triple. Airwax and Woolite should back away here. They're far too low. The Super Hot crew with 3 kills are going to go Baron.
Such a strong team fight by Super Crew, using the Twisted Fate and the Twitch to pick out targets here. You saw how Nami kept using abilities onto Mr. Riley just to speed him up, getting him in range, start the fight. Selfie joined in, and then a very, very nice ulti as well from Mima onto Mr. Riley. Once Kautar actually jumped in towards him, no damage. Intervention was there, turned it around, Kautar couldn't do anything.
Super Hot crew then losing out on all the dragons. We'll talk about that in a second as we see once again the starts of that fight.
Just look here, Mr. Riley, he just wants to start a fight. Impaler is there, joins in instantly. Both Youngbuck and Kautar were in the mid lane, so joining a bit late. Notice the intervention here, Mr. Riley. As soon as Kautar jumps him, intervention, takes absolutely no damage, and it's just an easy fight for Super Hot crew, and even better, your top lane Kayle picked up all the kills.
Yeah, bad news because, you know, Mima starting off slow. I don't even want to say slow because he's farmed up an absolute storm, to be fair. Got the most CS in the game. Got himself his Zhonya's now, that Nash's Tooth, the Hurricane, got another blasting wand in as well. So really in a strong, strong position. 6-1-1. I'll quite happily take it back what we said about Mima, that we prefer him on those tanky bruiser champions. Pulling out the goods here, though, on the Kayle.
100%. I mean, overall, it's been a very good performance. Laning phase, he kept pushing down Youngbuck to his tower again and again, and Impaler moved up, a Selfie came up there to either try and pick up a kill or force a summon away from Youngbuck, which meant it was so easy for Mima to just keep farming, and he's just been picking up the kills in the actual team fights. So overall, things are looking great for Super Hot crew, and I like the fact they're using the Twitch and the Twisted Fate to stop this split pushing from Copenhagen Wolves. They don't go necessarily for the one guy split pushing, they just find the people in the mid lane instead, start a team fight and force Copenhagen Wolves to move in there, join the fight or give up Baron, and this time around they lost the fight for Copenhagen Wolves and of course couldn't really do too much once the engage came in.
And again, we see Mima just pushing solo on that bottom side this time, the entire Wolves team pretty much having to rotate around the backside and pick themselves up the defense, but that changes again as Impaler is spotted inside of the Wolves jungle. There's enough damage. Kautar is factored in as we see Destiny being popped. They're going to go for Youngbuck. There is a stun card landing. They've got the damage to finish off. Mima it will be who gets his 7th kill of the game, and he's now unstoppable. Not sure that Kautar really wants this fight either. He's going to get slowed down. Where's the stun card? Selfie going to pick that one up. He throws his ulti away and takes the lantern, but real close. And Mima has used his ulti on his own. Meanwhile, Airwax finished off by Yero there in the middle lane, and that's going to be 2 turrets here surely for the Super Hot crew.
2 members from Copenhagen Wolves just died instantly in this mid lane, and it's been the story because every time Super Hot crew fights one place, the rest of the members are still so strong they can win a different place on the map. This time around, it was just Impaler, Mr. Alice and Yero against the rest of Copenhagen Wolves to try and defend the mid lane. Easy peasy, Impaler went in, rat-tat-tat from Mr. Alice, 2 people are dead and you take a tower.
Well, they're going to steal away a blue buff. They're going to have themselves a dragon, and that gold swinging well and truly in their favor. Now we can see how much gold they've got to spend. Over 2k for the AD carry. Everyone else got over 1,000 to spend as well. That is going to be a big payday in terms of items when they go back. Did already see Void Staff was the next item for Mima on Kayle. And that Kayle pick just paying off for them completely. 330 CS, 7-1-1 in kills right now.
And it's just working so well with the Jarvan in the team fights. We saw it around the Baron pit where once you get the ulti down from Jarvan, Kayle just stands with his Hurricane, just smacks away. Everyone just gets a slap. Boom, 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 boom. And people just die left and right, and Mima gets all the kills here. So it's perfect for Super Hot crew so far. Now they just need to keep up the pressure, go up here. They can even pick a team fight if they want, or try and go for pick once again with the Twisted Fate, with the Twitch, and therefore get a kill and get a tower.
And Twist of Fate already got a blue buff, so Mimer's going to get one, and he's going to find himself a count on. How much damage can they put through? There's the Destiny coming in as well. They're going to try and get onto this one as Selfie forced someone out of the fight, but there were only 3 men there at the start for Super Hot Crew, and the Copenhagen Wolves backed away with a full team of 5.
So Impaler here had to use his ulti, same went for Selfie. However, Coulthard and Youngbuck had to use ult, so now Super Crew pushing towards this mid lane.
And they got positioning on it as well. We saw the recalls from the Wolves trying to get back here to stop all the damage to coming through onto this inhibitor turret, and they do get back early enough to stop most of that happening as Coulthard stepped forward, did use his ultimate in that last fight, so he doesn't have that for now at least, although on a very quick cooldown. Look at this, they're setting things up once again. It's Impaler who will jump over the wall to get things started if need be. But I think wisely for the Wolves, don't particularly want to fight head-on against the Super Hot Crew yet.
We do see Copenhagen Wolves, they've completely dropped the idea of now split pushing. They stay together as a group because they know Super Crew are looking for the picks here. And they just want to take a straight up 5 against 5 team fight.
And look at that gold difference versus time between Mimer and Youngbuck. The leads that Youngbuck has had have been small, and we can see that Mimer in these last 10-15 minutes or so up to a 3,000 gold advantage over Youngbuck, just showing how well he is doing with this Kayle. As I said, 711 and 350 CS. And we've seen how Kayles can farm the later things go on. We've already seen Selfie smashing CS records with a Kayle on himself. And actually Mimer's well on his way to that as well.
So look here, Super Crew, they knew that no wards in their own jungle. They knew Copenhagen Wolves had moved in there. They pinged it out and instead just said, you know what, we're just going to go mid lane. We don't even want to fight in the jungle where we don't have any wards. So they're pushing up the mid lane here. Mimer has teleport in his bottom lane, can just join in anytime. Copenhagen Wolves though, they want to fight.
Yeah, Destiny was used there to get the vision of Selfie. Going to get knocked up in the air. There's a lot of damage going through. Yarrow is going to fall. Mimer now the next target. He flashes away though, but Mr. Rawls caught alone at the back. He will be finished off, and the shutdown goes to Coulthard, and now it's all on Impaler running north. Mimer will run all alone down towards the south side of the map, and just like that, the Copenhagen Wolves coming in from behind get themselves a 4-for-1, and it looks like a couple of towers on top of it.
Could be maybe even more than just a few towers here. 40 seconds left on to Selfie, Mr. Rise, Impaler, 30 seconds now. Take at least this tower, go for the next one, and then back away unless you want to play real manly and just take the inhibitor as well. They should be able to do it.
Well, we'll see. It's going to be Selfie, the Mimer, who may be able to stop this one, but obviously the instruction is to stick back from this one and not risk anything. And the Copenhagen Wolves not only get the kills, they push through, get themselves an in-him. Baron's even coming up soon.
Alright, so key things in this fight here. Notice the teleport, how late Mimer actually joins the fight, because Super Crew didn't expect to get engaged on. So Mimer comes in, uses intervention, and already now he's so far away from the fight. Selfie has done nothing in the fight because he got caught out. Mr. Riles, easy target for Youngbuck to go towards. And actually, Loco Dogo last week in the LCS, in his interview, he said when you play Twisted Fate and when you play Twitch, you need so good synergy. Never mind now, his fight!
Yeah, Selfie again gonna have to use the intervention here, and actually a lot of damage going back his way. That's the 1 kill. Mimer the next target as Coulthard's going low. Now it's Yarrow who throws out one. Impaler is there as well. They're trying to finish off Youngbuck, which they'll surely do. And that leaves us with a 3-on-2, this time in favor of the Super Hot Crew that come back, and they're not done just yet. Trying to get any more. Mr. Rawls will stealthily work his way forward. That was the bubble there, trying to speed things up. Does he get the slow? Yes, he does get the slow. But can Mr. Rawls get close enough to him? They've decided against it. They're going to have the tower.
Let's see, and no minions coming for them, so they have to back away, can't even move on here. But Super Crew this time are the ones going towards Copenhagen Wolves, and they used so much time on killing Selfie. Mimer was just hammering away, getting everyone so low, so once Mr. Riles joined in, once Impaler joined in, they can pick up the kills here and take a tower at least.
And look at that, Super minions already working through into the base. We've seen the recall already from 3 of the Super Hot Crew.
They got it.
They're not going to lose a turret here, but just showing them they very much need to be careful of how that all goes down, because that was real close to that turret going down.
And they need to be careful how they team fight. We saw the one before where Copenhagen Wolves won because Super Crew, they split up. Everyone just split up here, and as I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make is Twisted Fate and Twitch together. You need very good synergy in these team fights here because you have to stand together, you have to kite backwards, land a gold card, even Kayle jumps in here, and you always have to pick the target, you stun, and just kite as a group, back. this time around, or in the team fight we saw before, they were split up. Everyone was in different positions, and therefore Copenhagen Wolves could just pick them off left and right.
Look at this, the Wolves also setting themselves a trap inside of the Death Brush. The red buff goes over to Mimer. Already won there on Jarvan. The Wolves are going to get themselves, most probably here, a free dragon, of which they've pretty much had a good time of this entire game. Really doing well on controlling that big objective out here. Coming Mimer in the backside. The rest of the team. Actually, no, Mimer already portaled back. Impaler is there, and we'll see. Flag gonna go too. It's a little bit too late. Another dragon for the Copenhagen Wolves. 4 out of 5 this game.
And we need to remember, of course, Dragon gives a lot of gold in his late game point here, so it's very good for Copenhagen Wolves. They can keep picking up. And now they want to go towards this bottom lane. Selfie's all the way up in the top lane, joined by Wulat to defend. Remember, Selfie can join in with his ulti. Wulat, he has to run the entire way.
Well, look at this, the Wolves trying once again to keep a hold of that vision on the bottom side of the Super Hot Crew jungle. Super Hot Crew up against a Baron up Copenhagen Wolves, at least what's left of those Baron buffs. Making sure that they don't push out too far, don't give anything away.
Well, they need to stop Selfie up here.
Who is pushing his way up
has
there.
to go back.
Younglock is surely going to go back here. I mean, he's the one that has to go back. Selfie actually himself, I think, is thinking, okay, they've got 5 men. They got 5 men down bottom. No one seems to be coming up for me. Finally, Youngbuck has actually teleported, recalled away from this one. He does have teleport available, so actually, if he gets rid of Selfie, he can TP down for a 5-on-4 as well.
Look here. He's actually jumping towards himself. He already used the Ghost and the Hourglass.
And this is surely dead. Actually, he's going to use the Destiny. Does get away from him off towards the backside.
TP and Youngbuck go.
Will we see the TP? And will Selfie just do a ring? He is. Selfie's going to do a ring and go back to the top side. But the Copenhagen Wolves here managing to get themselves another inhibitor turret. There is a tidal wave coming through. Impaler moving in there as well, but he's going to take a lot of damage. Gets hooked in. Finished off actually by Woolite as well. That's the first kill coming in. Mr. Roll's also low. Kautar diving to the back, using the Zhonya's instantly, and this inhibitor taking a while, but will be finished up there. Selfie getting hooked in as well, but the football comes through, gets them one more, and look how low the Copenhagen Wolves are. Mimer looking to clear out, gets himself one. Can he find any more? Gonna get the speed there from Yero, but can he get on towards Kautar? The heal will give Mr. Raz the speed, but again, just too quick here, the Wolves. They get away with hardly any life, but they got the in him.
Got the inhibitor, and we actually saw in the end of the team fight, Wulat, he didn't even hit people, he just went straight for the inhibitor. It was left very, very low, so it did no damage to Super Hot Crew in the end of the fight, and managed to pick up a few kills. Copenhagen Wolves, though, get inhibitor going down, back the way to the base as well. And just look here, so Impaler goes in the base, Selfie just recalled, he's running to join in with the team, he's not there yet. Impaler already gone down as the first target. Now notice the inhibitor. It's not going down yet, all around the 60% mark. It takes a bit of damage, Wulat is hitting it, they stop hitting it, back away. And notice how Wulat now here actually does no damage to the side. Never mind, he does 2 hit there, ignore everything. He did, however, hit the inhib in the end, so he didn't actually finish off Selfie or try to, and backed away. So Super Crew, because there was some split damage from Copenhagen Wolves, and because they managed to get a disengage, could at least turn around.
Oh, this is another trap set up by the Super Hot Crew. They're going to go for Woolite, who tries to speed away. Destiny was used, but he's not going to follow through. Oh, he actually is going to follow through. He goes towards that top lane, try and push that one out again. They've only got Jarvan back behind where the Copenhagen Wolves are actually pushing. We can see the mass recalls on the top side for the Super Hot Crew. That inhibitor, by the way, did respawn, so that's free and open for the taking here for the Wolves. Not sure that the Super Hot Crew are going to try and defend, or maybe I'm wrong about that one. They're actually coming flying through, and you see the Wolves are a little bit scared of them as well.
Everyone just instantly recall for Super Crew to join in here. Still down to 50%, and if Copenhagen Wolves keep poking a little bit, they might be able to take it, unless Super Crew engage onto them.
Kautar just dodging out of all that damage. Ultimates across the board are now up and available for this next fight, except Destiny, which probably won't pay too much of a role in it either way. And do they dare here, the Copenhagen Wolves? Woolite steps forward, gets off 2 shots, gets ever so close to falling down. Meanwhile, super minions are going to be pushing onto this bottom lane. We saw what happened last time those super minions got through, doing good damage on towards the Nexus turrets. Wolves trying to use this opportunity to get through. Move forward, but no engagement. Did do a good amount of damage there, though, and it will force the Copenhagen Wolves, at least for now, to back off.
If they're just gonna stay, wait for new super minions, and then once again, get a feel. Impaler going in though.
Impaler going more towards the front. He wants a cataclysm down. That's a good tidal wave coming in. And Mima absolutely crapping on them from the back. We'll see the Destiny use. Are they going to be able to finish off? Countdown dodges a bit of damage, but it's 2 coming out now. Make that 3 for Mima. They're going to chase up this middle lane. There's 60 seconds spawn time is on the go. They do have super minions in there. I think the turrets might be enough. Is he going to try it?
He's moving.
He's going to try it.
Mima didn't spot him.
Mima did recall though. Mima
should be able
recall.
So him should go down.
Yeah, Inhibitor's going to go down, but we can see the Super Hot Crew pushing right up on towards the enemy inhibitor from this. Mima has come down. He can deal with Woolite. It leaves just Youngbuck to defend the base. They need to get Woolite back. We can see he's down the bottom side of the map. Here comes the TP as well. Woolite needs to recall if they're going to try and defend this one. I think they've given up on it. There's the recall finally coming in, but they've already lost one Nexus turret. Second one going to be focused as well. Youngbuck goes for a last attempt. He goes down. The Super Hot Crew focusing onto the Nexus and pick up a thrilling victory here against the Copenhagen Wolves.
And we just saw the power, especially of Kale in the late game in his last team fight. And full credit to Yero on this Nami here. Perfect wave coming in. Copenhagen Wolves actually managed to stop the engage from Impaler first. However, wave hit, Kale came in and just destroyed them and won the game for Super Hot Crew.
Brilliant wave coming through there at the end, and Mima gonna be thrilled with his performance in that 13-2-5. I think we saw
all the kills.
2 or 3 triple kills from him throughout the entire match, and that's a performance which certainly silences me somewhat, because I've always said we like to see him on the likes of Shyvana in this top lane, the big bruisery, tanky champions. And, okay, Kale got a bit more survivability than most other AP mid or AP top laners, but he absolutely came through today and showing again why